So as we were talking about preventative care, such as stress management or even depression that some people have problems with. What we also talked about in another conversation was the importance of having a purpose in life. And I recall you also mentioned faith. And I'm curious to learn from you, what are your experiences? To what extent can having a purpose in life or believing in something which is higher than yourself, how important is that for handling challenges in life we have, and thereby maybe reducing stress or...
Yeah, I think I know a lot of people in my closest friends that are very religious or that have a very purpose-driven lifestyle, where they say, "Oh, this is my," and I might not agree with the purpose or the belief, but this is what they think, and to some degree, I came to understand that it simplifies your way of thinking, because you can say, "Oh, I'm currently suffering, but I know there's a way out because of my belief, or because I know this is where it will lead me becoming a professional in X, Y, Z." So this purpose is absolutely paramount for us to have that feeling. And when people ask me about purpose, I get very defensive, because I don't think I've found the purpose
your
I
purpose.
could say, yes, beyond protecting my family and friends, and that's where I think I feel most comfortable. But is that enough for a purpose? I always struggle with that. I admire people say, "Oh, my purpose is to become the best athlete," or my purpose is to help others like any way I can, or my purpose is, I don't know, to be the richest man, whatever. It might be silly, but they have this drive, and they have this this power, this will. And for me, it's a lot more difficult to say this one thing is my purpose. For me, it's family. But
and you're saying that in your situation, family care can by pursuing that purpose, it will take you through many difficulties in life, and help you reduce stress and all other challenges.
I think it's mental endurance in the
Mental
end.
endurance.
Yeah, because you could be subjected to, for example, pain with a needle. And if you don't have any purpose why you should be subjected to pain, then at some point you would just say, "Oh, stop! I have enough. I don't want to suffer anymore." But you could have the same person and say, "Oh, if you endure pain for that amount of time, let's say 10 minutes, and then you make it, then you get to whatever you want to do." Or you say, "This is necessary, I need to suffer to understand my purpose in terms of religion," for example, and then their endurance will increase dramatically to an ordinary subject that you have in a test. So it helps you focus. It helps you accept certain circumstances.
So if we hang on to that thought, to what extent can you imagine that, like if you have a certain illness and you go to see a physician and you get diagnosis and you get your medicine, to what extent can you imagine that as a complementary measure that you are helped in various ways through technology or coaches to help figure out what are your most important values, what is your purpose in life, or evolutionary purpose? To what extent can you imagine something like that healthcare can move in that direction?
I think it should. I think definitely it would help. It would help me, for example, because one thing is you could say, if you have the status quo and you're healthy, and then you become unhealthy, and then you just want to return to status quo, then you're back to, you could be anything. You could do anything. That's great, but it's still so many variables that our mind cannot comprehend. But if you say, instead of just going back to status quo, you could go back to pursuing that one passion that you have, right? You could be longer with your family, or you could work longer, or you can have an additional company that you always wished for to extend. And once you have that purpose, then it becomes not just about health, but it becomes, the purpose itself is then the road, the so often spoke about road, the journey is then much more important than the end goal, right?